Suppose you have a series circuit connected to a 120 volt, 60 hertz AC supply containing a 20-watt light bulb and a 4 Henry inductor. If you measure the current, it would be around 72 milliamps. Now, let's add a 15 microfarad capacitor to the circuit. What do you think will happen to the current? Will it decrease or will it increase? You might expect the current to decrease because another component has been added to the circuit and the bulb to be dimmer. But surprisingly, the current increases and the bulb glows brighter. Why? That is what we will answer in this video. Consider a sinusoidal voltage source connected to a resistor. The instantaneous voltage can be described as V of t equals Vm multiplied by sine of omega t. Here, Vm is the peak voltage, omega is the angular frequency, and t represents time. At every instant, the current is equal to the voltage divided by the resistance. Because the resistance is constant, the current has the same sinusoidal shape as the voltage and can be described as I of t equals Im multiplied by sine of omega t, where Im is the peak current. If we plot the voltage and current together, they cross zero and reach their positive and negative peaks at the same time. The voltage and current are therefore in phase, with a phase difference of 0 degrees. The power at any particular instant is found by multiplying the instantaneous voltage by the instantaneous current. We write this as P of t equals V of t multiplied by I of t. Substituting the voltage and current expressions gives P of t equals Vm multiplied by Im multiplied by sine squared of omega t. During the positive half cycle, both voltage and current are positive. During the negative half cycle, both are negative. Their product is therefore positive during both halves of the cycle. The power falls to zero whenever the voltage and current cross zero, but it never becomes negative. The power waveform completes 2 cycles for every 1 cycle of voltage and current because squaring the sine wave moves its negative half above the horizontal axis. Positive power means that energy is flowing from the source into the resistor, where it is converted into heat. Because instantaneous power changes continuously, we normally use its average value over 1 complete cycle. The average power is found by adding the instantaneous power values across the cycle and dividing by the duration of that cycle. Mathematically, this is written as capital P equals 1 divided by capital T multiplied by the integral from 0 to capital T of P of t with respect to t. Here, capital T is the period of 1 complete cycle. For the resistive circuit, the power is proportional to sine squared of omega t. The average value of sine squared over a complete cycle is 1/2, so the average power is equal to Vm multiplied by Im divided by 2. Average AC power is normally calculated using RMS values. For a sinusoidal waveform, the RMS voltage is the peak voltage divided by the square root of 2, and the RMS current is the peak current divided by the square root of 2. Multiplying them gives the same result, Vm multiplied by Im divided by 2. The average power in a purely resistive circuit can therefore be found by multiplying the RMS voltage by the RMS current. From this point onward, capital V and capital I will represent RMS values. For a pure resistor, the average power is equal to capital V multiplied by capital I. Using Ohm's law, it can also be calculated as the RMS current squared multiplied by the resistance, or as the RMS voltage squared divided by the resistance. The derivation of RMS voltage was covered in a previous video. Do check it out for a detailed explanation of RMS voltage. Now, let's replace the resistor with an ideal inductor. The applied voltage remains sinusoidal, but the current no longer reaches its peaks at the same time as the voltage. An inductor opposes changes in current. In a purely inductive circuit, the current lags the voltage by 90 degrees and can be described as I of t equals Im multiplied by sine of omega t minus pi over 2. On the graph, the voltage reaches its positive peak 1/4 of a cycle before the current. When the instantaneous voltage and current are multiplied, the resulting power waveform moves equally above and below the zero power axis. When the power is positive, energy flows from the source into the inductor and is stored in its magnetic field. When the power is negative, the inductor releases that energy back to the source. Over a complete cycle, the positive and negative areas are equal, so the average power is zero. An ideal inductor can have voltage across it and current through it, but it does not consume average real power. A real inductor does have losses because of winding resistance and other non-ideal effects. Now replace the inductor with an ideal capacitor. A capacitor opposes changes in voltage, and current flows as it charges and discharges. In a purely capacitive circuit, the current leads the voltage by 90 degrees. It can be described as I of t equals Im multiplied by sine of omega t plus pi over 2. The current reaches its positive peak 1/4 of a cycle before the voltage. The instantaneous power again contains equal positive and negative regions. Positive power represents energy being stored in the capacitor's electric field, while negative power represents that energy being returned to the source. The average power over a complete cycle is therefore zero. The capacitive power waveform is reversed relative to the inductive power waveform because their phase relationships are opposite. Current lags in an inductor and leads in a capacitor. A practical AC load may contain resistance, inductance, capacitance, or a combination of all three. The voltage and current may therefore be separated by a phase angle called phi. Let the voltage be described as V of t equals Vm multiplied by sine of omega t. If the current lags the voltage by phi, it can be described as I of t equals Im multiplied by sine of omega t minus phi. Multiplying these expressions gives the instantaneous power. The result can be separated into a constant part and an oscillating part. The oscillating part varies at twice the original frequency and has an average value of 0 over a complete cycle. The remaining constant part gives the average power. Using peak values, it is equal to Vm multiplied by Im divided by 2 and multiplied by cosine phi. Since the RMS voltage multiplied by Im divided by 2, the average power can be written as capital P equals capital V multiplied by capital I multiplied by cosine phi. This is the general equation for real power in a sinusoidal AC circuit. The quantity cosine phi is called the power factor. It indicates how effectively the RMS voltage and current produce average real power. For a purely resistive circuit, the phase angle is 0 degrees. The cosine of 0 degrees is 1, so the power factor is 1, and all of the voltage-current product contributes to real power. For an ideal inductor or capacitor, the magnitude of the phase angle is 90 degrees. The cosine of 90 degrees is 0, so the average real power is 0. A practical circuit normally has a power factor between 0 and 1. A lagging power factor means that the current lags the voltage, and the circuit is predominantly inductive. A leading power factor means that the current leads the voltage, and the circuit is predominantly capacitive. A lower power factor means that more current is required to transfer the same amount of real power. This increases conductor losses and requires cables, transformers, generators, and switching equipment to carry more current. AC circuits are described using 3 related power quantities: real power, reactive power, and apparent power. Real power represents the average rate at which electrical energy is converted into heat, light, mechanical motion, or another useful form. It is represented by capital P and is equal to the RMS voltage multiplied by the RMS current multiplied by cosine phi. Real power is measured in watts. Reactive power represents energy that moves back and forth between the source and reactive components. It is represented by capital Q and is equal to the RMS voltage multiplied by the RMS current multiplied by sine phi. Reactive power is measured in reactive volt-amperes, usually called VAR. Inductive reactive power is normally treated as positive, while capacitive reactive power is treated as negative. The sign therefore indicates whether the circuit is predominantly inductive or capacitive. The product of the RMS voltage and RMS current is called apparent power. It is represented by capital S and is measured in volt-amperes, or VA. Apparent power describes the total electrical loading placed on the source and the equipment supplying the circuit. The power factor can also be found by dividing the real power by the apparent power. Real power, reactive power, and apparent power can be represented using a right-angled triangle called the power triangle. The horizontal side represents real power, the vertical side represents reactive power, and the hypotenuse represents apparent power. The apparent power squared is therefore equal to the real power squared plus the reactive power squared. The angle between the real power axis and the apparent power line is the same phase angle that separates the voltage and current. The cosine of this angle is equal to the real power divided by the apparent power, while its sine is equal to the reactive power divided by the apparent power. For an inductive load, the reactive power side extends upward. For a capacitive load, it extends downward. A purely resistive load lies along the real power axis, while a purely reactive load lies along the reactive power axis. Consider a series AC circuit containing a resistor, an inductor, and a capacitor. Suppose the RMS supply voltage is 120 volts. The resistance is 30 ohms, the inductive reactance is 40 ohms, and the capacitive reactance is 20 ohms. The inductive and capacitive reactances oppose each other, so the net reactance is found by subtracting the capacitive reactance from the inductive reactance. 40 ohms minus 20 ohms gives 20 ohms. Since the result is positive, the circuit is overall inductive, and the current will lag the voltage. The total impedance is found by taking the square root of the resistance squared plus the net reactance squared. 30 squared is 900, and 20 squared is 400. Their sum is 1,300, giving an impedance of approximately 36.1 ohms. The RMS current is the supply voltage divided by the impedance. 120 volts divided by 36.1 ohms gives approximately 3.33 amperes. The real power is found using the RMS current squared multiplied by the resistance. Squaring 3.33 amperes and multiplying by 30 ohms gives approximately 332 watts. The inductive reactive power is the RMS current squared multiplied by the inductive reactance, which gives approximately 443 VAR. The capacitive reactive power acts in the opposite direction and is approximately negative 222 VAR. The net reactive power is therefore approximately positive 222 VAR. This confirms that the complete circuit is inductive. The apparent power is the RMS voltage multiplied by the RMS current. 120 volts multiplied by 3.33 amperes gives approximately 399 volt amperes. The power factor is the real power divided by the apparent power. 332 divided by 399 gives approximately 0.832. Since the circuit is inductive, this is described as a power factor of 0.832 lagging. Taking the inverse cosine of the power factor gives a phase angle of approximately 33.7 degrees. The current, therefore, lags the supply voltage by about 33.7 degrees. Thank you for watching.